Is it even possible to lose weight over the holiday season? It's filled with all your favorite foods, and if you live near me at all, Midwest in middle United States, it's cold outside and it's harder to move outside like you typically like to do. So today, very simple, we're talking about 5 tips to stay on track so you can lose weight during the holiday season and be really darn proud of yourself on January 1.
Hey, welcome to the Kingdom Fit Moms podcast, where we believe that you can go on a journey to lose weight for the last time. I know you've tried all the things and you may not believe me yet, but when you do weight loss the Kingdom Fit Moms way, everything changes. You are in the right place if weight is constantly on your mind. You're confused about food, you're missing out on memories, and maybe even putting your dreams off for another day because this weight struggle is no joke. We're a community and we're on a mission to invite God into this weight loss journey so you can shed the burden and shine your light. I want you to start living and believing in the version of yourself that heaven sees. Let's get started.
Okay, the first tip to help you to lose weight during the holidays, which we are pretty much in right now, right? If you're listening live, Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and then everything just keeps on rolling until January. So the first tip is to have an end goal in mind. Because if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to do what you always do, which hasn't worked in the past, right? So what if you made it to January 1st and you were down weight? Like, how would you feel? I want you, even if you need to pause this after you listen to this tip and just pause and really ponder this, or get out your journal. And I just want to emphasize, like, don't just listen and consume this information that I'm giving you today. Take this and actually take action. And so for this first tip, I want you to sit and actually imagine that version of you in control and empowered and driven by the Spirit to make wise decisions all throughout the holiday season. And then along with that, really getting into a state of mind that your health is worth making a priority, even in the holiday season. I say this to my fit moms all the time. Being busy and being healthy, they're not mutually exclusive. So remember that running your kids around is not more important than you eating well and moving your body, right? You have to get into a mindset that healthy living is a lifestyle. It's just what you do. And it's not a here and there type of thing. So the people who are healthy for their entire lives, this is how they live. They don't go in and out of seasons of healthiness. It's just what they do. It's part of their identity, even in the holiday season. And starting to believe that you can do it and speaking that out, even if you don't fully know in your head how to do that, but in your heart, you know this is a change that you want to make, start speaking that out. So what is that goal on January 1? What would make you really proud? Maybe it's skipping the sweets at every opportunity and being in control. Maybe it's making breakfast every day. Maybe it's sticking to a schedule of eating real food even when your kids are home from break. So I also want to mention, it's not too late to join us in the Real Food Reset. And these women, I am loving this already. We're only on day 1, so you're not too late. Even if you join on day 3 or 4, who cares? Like, you can still have a really good reset before the holidays. But they're sharing recipes. They are committed to seeing what their bodies feel like when they are aligned with God's way of doing health. And so having some boundaries to help you to get to that end goal are really, really helpful. That leads me to my next point, that during the holiday season, you have to create some boundaries. So let's talk first about time and really asking yourself, what is worth my time? Because when I say yes to something, then I'm essentially saying no to something else. And that something else is usually you, if we're being honest, right? I see this all the time. in women that I work with inside Fit Moms Accelerator is that they are making time, especially when we first get started. It's been their norm to make time for everybody else and see everything else as pertinent, important, and urgent, and yet their own needs are going unmet. And just as a little side note, that points to a deeper root there. When you aren't able to see your own needs as worth fighting for, then we have to figure out why. So creating boundaries is important. Your kids, they can have boundaries too with you. So, you can talk to your kids and ask them, like, do we really need to go to every holiday party? Do we really need to visit every Santa or go to every fun event that's in that time frame? Choose what is worth your time and really think about this ahead of the holiday season. And it's also good to consider, okay, what stresses you out? How can you say no to some of it this year so that you are at peace? What boundaries in your home will you set up so that you can get your workouts in? So even if you have little babies or if you have teenagers or, maybe a dog or whatever, like have boundaries in place. Maybe your kids are not allowed to come upstairs until 7:00 and when you are done with your workout, or if they do, they can read and not bug mom. But making sure that you have clear boundaries about what is expected so that you can make your health a priority, even in the midst of what seems like a chaotic season. Okay, the third thing you need to do, once you have sat with that vision and imagined what you want to feel like in January 1, and you've created some boundaries, you need to share that intention with your family and you have to bring them into the journey. So again, if you have littles, it may require more of a conversation with your spouse so that he is well aware of how he can be supporting you. And maybe it goes vice versa. Maybe you guys swap time when you can go to the gym, or maybe you have a plan for who's cooking what when, or who's cleaning up, or whatever that is. But having a conversation is so important. And remember, ladies, with your husbands, I know that I have women that I work with whose husbands are fully on board and others whose husbands really don't want anything to do with this health journey. But I'm assuming that you are in a relationship, hopefully, where your husband loves you and he wants the best for you. And so when you're having these conversations about health and weight loss and whatever you're deciding to invest in, whatever you're deciding to put your time and energy toward, ask for support rather than permission, because this is your journey and nobody else will fight for your health except for you. Be real and vulnerable in these conversations with your spouse. Sometimes they don't know the heart issues that are going on with the weight struggle. Sometimes they don't know that it's always on your mind, or you hate getting dressed in the morning, or you want to hide at social events. So express that, because maybe that's enough to help your husband get on board and say, wow, I didn't realize this was like festering, this deep wound, and I want to help you so that you can be the best mom, so that you can enjoy intimacy, so that you feel confident around each other. All of those things are important to discuss. And come up with, as you're having these conversations, come up with some fun ways to make it happen. So go listen to the last episode 46, where we talked about holiday traditions and switching that up as well. And then get your kids involved, ask their opinions, but also express the boundaries that you created. Maybe they need some boundaries in other areas too, and you can talk about that. And as you speak it all into existence, as you share that intention with your family, it makes it so much harder to back out. So that's why this step is really important. Number 4, consider a plan for all of the breaks. Maybe Thanksgiving break, maybe Christmas break, maybe homeschool, but you're still taking breaks. Maybe you have some time off, maybe you're traveling. You can have time freedom and also have structure at the same time. So build in structure for meals, for workouts. Even if you want to lounge around with your kids, it's so helpful to have that time lumped off so you know when that's happening. So you're not sacrificing the things that are going to keep you on track with your weight loss journey. I know it can be so tempting to want to skip the structure and just wing it over a break and be like, oh, I'm just free-spirited, I'm going to do whatever I want. So if you wing it, you will end up less healthy, because losing weight does not just happen. You need a plan. So sit down with your family and talk through it. And maybe there are mornings where you're still sleeping in, But on those mornings when you're sleeping in, you can have a plan so that overnight oats are already in the fridge, or somebody's in charge of scrambling some eggs. Or maybe you want to have late night movie night. So it's talking through, okay, how can we make late night movie night so that we still have some good options available for what to eat? Lastly, number 5, have a this or that mentality. You do not need all the things that the holiday brings. Honestly, I think we have to be honest with ourselves with this, okay? So if we feel like we're missing out, if we don't have the rolls and the cookies and all the appetizers and the cocktails and all the things at every party that we go to, if we are so attached to that, then I think we have to be honest with ourselves and get to a point of repenting, because those things have become an idol. When we feel like we have this scarcity mindset of, oh, if I don't get this, it'll be the last time, then is it an issue where we're not trusting the Lord to provide and to give us abundance and to really know what is best for us? So all of these struggles where we feel like if we struggle to miss out or we have an all or nothing mentality, then it points to deeper roots that we have to break off, where we are operating out of our flesh and not out of the spirit, where we feel like we need to do things because it makes us feel good instead of doing the thing that is the greater obedience out of love for our Father and His good and perfect will for us. So you don't need dessert and wine and appetizers and leftover Thanksgiving food for 5 days, right? If we overindulge at every single event, then we're going to gain weight over the holidays. It's just, I'm not going to say complete fact, but probably pretty close to that, right? So think ahead and write down what's worth it, because I'm not saying that you cannot enjoy, maybe your mom makes some special meal at Christmas, or your grandma, makes this amazing dessert at Thanksgiving. Like, you should totally enjoy that. But maybe you are going to enjoy grandma's dessert and say, like, I don't really want the stuffing. I don't even like stuffing, so I'm not even going to waste my calories on that, right? So having a this or that mentality is so helpful for the things that aren't worth it. Prepare to say no, because your health goals are more important than this tiny momentary comfort that may not even be that good, right? And then a bonus tip, don't do this alone. If you have always failed in the past, meaning you're back to square one over and over again, then we need to help you to take all of these tips from your head and help them to settle into your heart and actually want to do them, to see yourself worthy of doing them. And so we have lots of options for you, ladies. So the 2 that I want to highlight today, if you're like, yeah, Kelsey, I want to be a part of a community where I'm having a step-by-step process, then Fit Moms Academy or Fit Moms Accelerator are your next steps. If you're not already in the free community, Kingdom Fit Moms, if you're already there, that's a great starting point. And then Fit Moms Academy, so that is the step-by-step guide for how to invite the Lord in, how to start and continue that process, really lay those foundations. I do want to mention this is a perfect Christmas gift, right? So maybe you have somebody in your life who has been struggling with the weight journey. This would be a perfect time to give them the gift of health over the holidays. And so you get lifetime access to this course. It's walking you through real food, time management, how to invite the Lord in, how to set up systems, how to make this all sustainable. And then Fit Moms Accelerator is really for the women who are saying, all right, I'm doing this thing. I need more help. I want somebody to have an outside look, see things that maybe I can't see, and really help to understand the why behind, what gets into my head when I feel like I'm failing, why I binge, why I don't make myself a priority. Then if that's the case, then you should 100% consider joining us in Fit Moms Accelerator. It's a 6-month coaching program. And we have some really exciting revamps that we're going through with more in-depth accountability. We have leaders now who have been a part of Fit Moms for a while, and they are catching wind of this community and the importance of this message that we carry. And they're stepping up into leader roles. And it's so cool from my perspective, I just have to say, because when you think about the journey of going from being very new at something to really being a master or a legend at something, there has to be a point where you're teaching that, where you are giving to other women. And so we have leaders raising their hand to join in this movement of moms who are saying, you know what, we're breaking off this bondage of excess weight. We are going to walk out in freedom. And so you've heard some of their stories. Some of them are still, coming to light in the testimonies. And I'm just so proud of these women. And there's no difference between me or them or you. Like, we are all sisters in Christ. And so if you feel stuck, like, we have space for you. You are not exempt. And so I just want to invite you to start a conversation with me. You can reach out on Facebook or send me an email, info@kelseywickenhauser.com, and we can guide you in the right direction. Go check out the show notes to get all the details, or go check out my website, kelseywickenhauser.com. And I cannot wait to get to know you inside one of our communities.
Hey Fit Mom, if this episode blessed you today and you can think of somebody else who's struggling in her weight loss journey, would you consider sharing this week's episode with her to give her a sense of hope? And then while you're at it, hop on over to our free Facebook community, Kingdom Fit Moms, for daily encouragement and support. Let's go shed the weight to shine the light.